far, I've made videos on 5 different gemstones on my channel: pearls, amethysts, emeralds, peridots, and garnets. In each one, I shared a few interesting little tidbits about them: where they come from, what kinds of properties they have, and what their cultural and religious significances have been, and the subvarieties they come in. Now it's time to do that with a particularly colorful and opaque one, the opal. But before I start, I want to remind everyone that I don't just post about gemstones here at From Laura's Perspective. I post video essays about the kinds of things people like me want to learn all about. These include animals, art, history, politics, current events, music, movies, TV, food, drink, games, and more. If you haven't already joined my video essay library by clicking subscribe, do it now. But don't forget to tap the bell icon or you won't get the message when I post new content. Then you might miss out on learning all kinds of things on topics that might interest you. But enough about that. Time to learn 7 things that make opal such a special gemstone. First, we're going to trace back the ancient roots of the opal. This fact applies to most gemstones, but I'm still going to address this one anyway. Early races credited opal with magical qualities, and traditionally, opal was said to aid its wearer in seeing limitless possibilities. It supposedly did this by amplifying and mirroring subconscious feelings, emotions, and desires. It was also thought to lessen inhibitions and promote spontaneity. The early Greeks believed the opal bestowed powers of foresight and prophecy upon its owner, while in Arabian folklore, it said that the stone fell from heaven in flashes of lightning. To the Romans, it was considered to be a token of hope and purity. In the Old World, Hungary mined opal for Europe and the Middle East, while Mexico, Peru, and Honduras supplied their own native empires with the gemstones. Conquistadors introduced New World opal to Spain when they returned with stones in the early 16th century. Since the late 1800s, Australia has dominated opal production with more than 90% of the global output. But more on that in Fact 4. For our second fact, we're going to learn one of the theories about how opal has been formed. The formation and material structure of opals is actually quite unexpected. Yes, it's actually wet weather patterns or precipitation that make opals look and feel the way they do. There's some debate on how exactly this works, but many believe it's formed when water from rain seeps down into crevices in the rock. Once the water evaporates, the silica that's left behind dries out and hardens into precious opal. Whether you love rain or you hate it, you can thank it for the colorful rainbow that appears on opals, if nothing else. For Fact 3, we're going to learn about the 2 types of opals. The 2 varieties of opal most often seen are common and precious. The difference between the 2 comes from the optical effect they produce. While both common and precious opals are opalescent, they are so to different degrees. Precious opals display a play of color not present in other opals. The precious opal's opalescence is a result of spaces between the silica spheres in the internal structure of the stone. These spaces allow for light to pass through and create the vivid, colorful refractions within the opal we associate with it. Common opal, on the other hand, is much simpler and displays a more hazy, milky color scheme, if that makes sense. For Fact 4, we're going to learn about the homeland of the opal. Opals can technically be mined anywhere, but 95% of the world's precious opals come from down under. Fittingly, the opal is the national gemstone of Australia. Indigenous Australian myths often link the creation of opals with rainbows, making the stone known as the rainbow stone. In one myth, an ancestral being came to Earth on a rainbow, and when the rainbow touched the ground, all pebbles and rocks in the vicinity began sparkling and turned to opal. We'll learn about some more beliefs relating to the opal in Fact 6. Next, we're going to learn about how opals are synthesized. What exactly does it mean to synthesize opals? Well, you know how a lot of gemstones can be cultivated in labs these days? Well, sometimes with opals, the people working in the labs will fuse one opal, either natural or artificial, with another so that it comes out with a specific design. Opals were first synthesized in 1974 by Pierre Gilson. Since the technology was pioneered, synthesizing opals has much improved, and modern lab-created opals do not have the lizard skin patterning earlier attempts did. Modern synthetic opals have non-directional patterns, making them appear much more similar to genuine opals. Lab-created opals, however, can still be distinguished since they don't have inclusions. That is, things like liquid or gas bubbles that form when material is trapped inside a mineral while that mineral is forming. Our second to last fact is the widespread debate over whether wearing an opal will bring you good luck or bad luck. In the Middle Ages, opal stones were considered extremely valuable and were believed to be bringers of good luck. This changed after 1829 when Sir Walter Scott published his novel Anne of Geierstein. A character in this novel wears an opal talisman with supernatural powers. But a drop of holy water on the opal turns it into a common stone, and the character wearing it dies soon after. Since the publication of this book, opals have then came to be associated with death, evil, and bad luck. This took root in the collective mindset and became a superstition of its own. For years to come, even up until the 20th century, opals were avoided. But since the Art Deco era, opals have come back into favor due to their glamorous nature. Last but not least, we're going to learn about opals as a birthstone. It's one of the 10th month of the year's 2 birthstones, with the other being a pink tourmaline. It's actually my little sister Rosie's birthstone, since her birthday's October 9th. If it's true what they say about opals bringing good health, fortune, and luck to their wearers, then this is especially true of wearers with October birthdays. The stone is associated with purity and emotions, as many believe it's able to intensify and reflect the mood of the wearer. Opal is seen as able to encourage creativity as it promotes interests in the arts. This makes opals an especially fitting gemstone for those born in the first half of October under the sun sign of Libra. I hope you enjoyed learning 7 new things about opals. I'm sure you found it especially interesting if your birthday's in October, because the opal's your birthstone. I've actually made several videos on gemstones that serve as birthstones already, and there are still more to come. You can see these by checking out the gemstones playlist on your end screen. If you'd rather see something else of mine, check out some of my content in the suggestions or on my channel page. Do that because I have a wide variety of essay topics to offer. When you find the one that interests you, that's all the reason you need to just click subscribe already.